Characterization in literature is the process authors use to develop characters and create images of the characters for the audience. There are two different approaches to characterization, including direct characterization and indirect characterization. With the direct approach, the author tells us what they want us to know about the character. With indirect characterization, the author shows us things about the character to help us have an understanding of the character's personality and effect on others. This lesson will introduce the pairs method to analyze characters in text, give you an opportunity to practice with a short text, and then review stock characters used in stories, plays, and videos. It might be helpful to use the acronym PAIRS to help you recall the 5 methods of characterization: physical description, action, inner thoughts, reactions, and speech. The character's physical appearance is often described. For example, characters might be described as tall, thin, fat, pretty, etc. We might be told the color of hair or something about the clothing of the character. How the character dresses might reveal something about them. Does the character wear old, dirty clothing or stylish, expensive clothing? What the character does tells us a lot about them as well. Is the character a good person or a bad person? Is the character helpful to others or selfish? What the character thinks reveals things about them. We discover things about their personalities and feelings, which sometimes helps us understand their actions. Reactions include the effect on others or what the other characters say and feel about the character. We can learn about the relationships among the characters. How does the character make the other characters feel? How do they feel scared, happy, or confused? This helps the reader have a better understanding of all the characters. And finally, what the character says provides a great deal of insight for the reader. The character might speak in a shy, quiet manner or in a nervous manner. The character might speak intelligently or in a rude manner. Who they speak with and when also provides insight. Read with me this brief excerpt of a narrative to help understand how authors might use the various methods of characterization. We will analyze it with the PAIRS acronym to see what we can find out about Anne as a character. Anne could feel her heart pounding as she entered her new school for the first time. She was not expecting such a large campus. Her old school was very small in comparison. She felt a little out of place as she looked around and saw how the other girls were dressed. They seemed so mature in their skirts and heels. She felt uncomfortable in her baggy jeans and old tennis shoes, but this is how everyone in her old school dressed. She started to miss how she felt with her old friends. As a group of girls approached her, she became increasingly nervous and dropped her books. The girls laughed as they pointed to her and made jokes, calling her a farm girl. She quickly gathered her books and ran to the restroom to hide. She called her mother on her cell phone and cried, "Mother, please, I want to go back home. I don't belong here." When thinking about the physical description of Anne, evidence from the text tells me that she does dress differently. She is wearing baggy jeans and old tennis shoes, while the other girls are wearing skirts and heels. I think she is uncomfortable and starting to feel out of place before she even said or did anything on that first day of school. And I also think she recognizes that the expectations are different here for what is okay to wear to school. Anne's actions and behavior in this short excerpt tell us that her heart is pounding. She dropped her books when she saw the girls. She ran to the bathroom, and she called her mom on her cell phone. Those actions and behaviors tell me that she is probably nervous. She's not confident in this new situation of being in a new school. She is maybe concerned about how she's perceived by others, and she knows right away that she's not fitting in. And quite likely she is also probably is embarrassed by her clothing or the fact that she dropped the books and didn't know how to respond. Anne's inner thoughts and dialogue are revealed in the first lines of the narrative. She thinks about her old school and how it's not like this one. I think she is uncomfortable, and she's comparing her old school with this new place and she's realizing it's not at all the same. I also think she's not having a very good first day at school. When considering reactions, you're looking to find out what other characters are saying or doing in relation to the main character. And in relation to Anne, the other girls provide us with some evidence about reactions towards her. They laugh at her, they point at her, and they make jokes about her, and they call her farm girl. So from their reactions, we further find out that she clearly is sticking out and she's different compared to others at her new school. These rude comments also give us evidence that at least these students are not welcoming or kind to new students in their school. And it gives us more evidence about Anne as a person, because we now see that she's taking their words and actions to heart, and she's letting them bother her, and she's clearly concerned about what others think of her. There is only one line of actual spoken dialogue in this narrative, and it comes at the very end when she phones her mom. And Anne's actual words, her actual speech to her mom, is basically a comment saying that she wants to go home and she doesn't feel like she belongs here. So those spoken words tells me that she's close to her mom and she feels that she can call on her when she's in a difficult situation. Her words match her thoughts and her actions that we're finding out earlier in the text. Perhaps she's insecure because she can phone her mom right away on that very first day. Not every teenager would perhaps feel comfortable phoning their mom. And possibly she gives up easily and she doesn't wait to see if the day gets any better or if other people will treat her any differently. Sometimes authors use stock characters in narratives. They help to quickly paint a picture of other characters. They do this because they are instantly recognizable from other stories. Often you could sum them up in a sentence or less, and they are one-dimensional, meaning they don't grow or change throughout the story. Their interaction and responses to the main characters provide the tension and helps paint a better picture of the main character. Examples include bratty siblings, the bumbling dad, the grumpy old neighbor, the jock, or the cheerleader. In Anne's narrative, the stock characters are the snooty girls, who are similar to the cheerleader stereotype. To critique a character in literature, you should use the pairs method. Craft your response with evidence from the text, using direct quotes or phrases. Make inferences and interpret what these clues tell you about the character, and then wrap up the critique with a personal connection to the character. You can explore connections, discuss similarities between yourself and the character, and make judgments about their believability, choices, actions, and decisions. Use this format and it will help you to create an effective character critique.